Hello, welcome back to the Ruck March. I'm Tashina. For you guys that were joining me last week, I want to say welcome back. If I have any new members, I'd just like to say welcome. Uh, Last week I was talking about being seen and what it felt like for someone to make out what you're trying to hide. And although my trauma is invisible, I try to do everything possible to keep from being seen by anyone. And I was touching bases on how, uh, with me changing from uniform to civilian clothes, brought about some questions that I didn't have to answer. So, but I did. And one time I was on my way to PT, and there was this semi truck that was preventing me from driving my truck off the highway, just honking his horn behind me constantly. And I was making it obvious that was I was trying to do. And by the grace of God, that truck came out of nowhere. Well, to me, it came out of nowhere because I wasn't paying attention to anything, anyways. And they were just honking their horns, trying to keep me from doing what it was that I had set my mind on doing. And when they realized that, hey, she's gonna keep on trying, they kept on blowing the horn, like, look, no, you're not gonna do this. And so I gave up on that and went on to work. Things happen. And I was talking about a couple episodes back about me being hospitalized because of what my trauma, my PTSD, and my depression, how my uh, command team, you know, didn't know that this much was going on with me. And while I was there in the hospital, uh, it was it's I don't want to say it like this, but it was uh, it was nice to be around people like me. You know, I wasn't the only one that was struggling with some form of mental illness. And I made some friends in there, and I was just like, wow, nobody know what a person is going through unless a person is willing to tell you, whether verbal or non-verbal. And we all had that story that we shared with one another. And some people wore their scars, on out on their sleeves, and some just chose to keep it hidden, because every scar is invisible. But yeah, so when that happened, I got out. My husband saw a side of me that he just didn't know was there. He knew I was sad sometimes, but I just didn't even have it in me about opening up anymore. But I opened up and told him, because I'm like, okay, if you care this much about me, I want you to know who I am and what's going on with me, and that this thing that I'm battling is never gonna go away. And so, yeah, we started talking a little bit more about what's going on with me with my mental health. And throughout the rest of my time in the military, it didn't get better. It kind of got a little bit manageable, but it began to get the best of me. Work was good. Work was work. Um, I just couldn't seem to share the heartbreak that I was having inside with every aspect of my life, because being depressed, having depression is selfish. It wants all of your attention. It doesn't want you to be happy. Although I had friends that wanted me to do things with them, hang out, go chill. I didn't have that energy for nobody, not myself, not my son, not my husband. I dug my heels in with that because it was like quicksand. It If I moved try to get out of it, it just held me tighter. And when I finally, you know, cracked again, I was talking to my therapist. I was just in her office and I was just like, I think I hit my knees, almost busted my kneecaps open. I was just like, I don't know how much more is in me to keep on pushing like this. And she was just like, my goodness, you are carrying a lot. She was like, I am surprised you haven't cracked. I was like, yeah, I don't want to crack like that again because it was something that I didn't even know that I was going to do. And she was just like, my goodness, it's like we tried everything. And we, even with this new therapist that I have, we're trying new things, but it's just like the more I open up, the more visible I feel like I am. And I don't want anyone out there listening to this to think that everybody is going to be the same. I am sharing my story because I want you all to get help if you need the help and to not sit on anything. And these people that are speaking up for me, like my first sergeant, my commander, they were speaking up for me because they wanted to see me better, see me happy. And that's the command team here. And my stories are gonna go back and forth. This isn't scripted. I don't have anything written down or anything like that. My stories are gonna go back and forth in between each other. And I just want to give you a heads up about that because there's another command team that I told you all about that was at Fort Sill. I'm not saying any names, but I owe my life. I owe my life to them. I owe my life to them because I feel so, I feel powerful with this being out there, my story being out there. It's just that I would love for every soldier, veteran, anyone that's listening to this, that comes across this, to seek out help if you need it. It's okay to ask for help. I'm still getting help. I'm in therapy. It's only going to work if you work it. You know, there's days I don't feel like going. I don't feel like going a lot, because I already know what's going to happen at the end. And even with doing these videos, it's therapeutic to me. But sometimes I just don't want to, I don't want to do it. But I promise you guys, I don't care how sad I may be, what's going on with me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show up. I don't care the amount of time it takes. I'm going to do this. And it's just me just saying, please fight, fight, fight for yourself, fight for yourself and for your loved ones. Someone is asking you, to do something that's going to keep you here another day. I beg you to please do it. And if you like what you heard, just share my story with someone else. Reach one, teach one. Anybody that's out there struggling with anything, seek help. 988, the Veterans Crisis Hotline. Everything is confidential. I use them. I don't know what the future holds, and I know where my resources are. So if you're struggling with anything, talk to somebody and just seek the help. And I'll talk to you guys again next week. Until then, you guys be safe. Take care, battles.